Today is Saturday, September 23rd. There is a long history of American government agencies looking into the sky, trying to make sense of UFO sightings. And now NASA says it's ready to shift the conversation from, quote, sensationalism to science. But what does that mean exactly? What role should NASA play in studying UFOs, now called UAPs? And will more study really bring more findings? Or will these unidentified flying objects stay unidentified? An independent panel of scientists just recently tried answering some of these questions. And today, I'm talking with the chair of that study team. Dr. David Spurgle is an award-winning theoretical astrophysicist and the president of the Simons Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization dedicated to, quote, providing sustained support to researchers working to unravel the mysteries of the universe. Today, Spergel is sharing not only the NASA report's findings and recommendations, but also what he personally thinks about the whistleblower who claimed the U.S. government has a secret retrieval program, as well as the possibility there really is life on other planets. Welcome to the Newsworthy Special Edition Saturday, when we sit down with a different expert or celebrity every Saturday to talk about something in the news. Don't forget to tune in every Monday through Friday for our regular episodes, where we provide all the day's news in 10 minutes. I'm Erica Mandy. It's now time for today's Special Edition Saturday. David Spurgle, thank you so much for joining us here on the Newsworthy.
Pleasure to be here.
So before we dive in, I do want to clarify that UAPs is now the modern way of saying UFOs. So can you explain briefly why that is? Why the change?
Well, they're not necessarily flying. They're objects we see, objects people have identified that, based on the data we have, we don't know what they are. So there's something in the air. They were initially called unidentified aerial phenomena, and this has now been generalized to unidentified anomalous phenomenon.
Makes sense. So you served as the chairman of NASA's UAP independent study team. When the panel first came together, what did you set out to do, and why did you want to be part of this?
We set out to give NASA advice into how it can best help advance our understanding of what UAPs are. So there's been a lot of interest in UAPs because of some events that the military has seen and reported. NASA felt that it could contribute with its open scientific approach and its drawing on the broader scientific community.
And can you clarify, the panel, was it trying to verify the existence of extraterrestrial life or just find more data?
No, we were not charged with understanding the nature of the events. We were charged with helping NASA to understand the nature of events. What should NASA do to make progress? And one of the things NASA does, separate from looking at these aerial phenomena, is it is looking for studying extrasolar planets, looking at potential signs of life on planets like Mars and Europa, looking for signs of life beyond our solar system. So NASA is doing a program of studying life outside our planet. But this is a distinct effort of understanding these UAPs.
Okay, so summarize a couple of the main findings, maybe a couple of the things that you think are most important for the public to take away from this report or to know about this report.
So I think most events that people see are balloons, drones, or airplanes. Anything with flashing lights wants to be seen and is almost certainly an airplane, drone, or balloon. There are a fraction of objects that are not understood. The ones that we looked at, the data we saw was really not sufficient to figure out what they are. And one of our recommendations was to make use of crowdsourcing, to make use of people out there, and the fact that we've got billions of cell phones out there which are capable of taking pretty high quality data and imaging. So one of our recommendations to NASA was to develop an app that was optimized for recording images of anomalous events and developing a website where those images could be uploaded, and then have an open process where people can study what's out there.
And I know you've said that Stigma has kept people from reporting or talking about it when they see UAPs. Do you think that's changing now? And also, how do you try to balance that with people who are really skeptical about everything that scientists are saying?
Well, I think there's, particularly among pilots, both commercial and military, a sense that if they see some anomalies, that they would be treated as kind of crazies for reporting them. And, you want your commercial airliner pilot to be someone who is not seeing things, so that there's a sense that they see something strange, they should not report it, they should keep it to themselves, and that this has led to an underreporting of anomalies. Now, some of these anomalies could be completely conventional things like balloons. We saw this Chinese balloon that drifted over the United States a few months ago. We want to have those things reported. We want to have anomalies reported. So one of the things that we felt NASA could do because of its reputation is help eliminate the stigma of reporting. So I think we want to encourage people to report, to collect data, to study. But on the other hand, we don't want people to jump to conclusions. I think one of the problems we see in this area is as soon as someone sees something they don't understand, they think it's some alien life form.
And to that point, what's your take on the military veteran David Grush, who was actually part of the Pentagon's UAP task force, who later then filed a whistleblower complaint saying he's been told about a secret UAP crash retrieval program that found non-human aircraft? What did you make of those claims?
Well, important if true, but you'd like to see more evidence. Being told, someone told me there's something interesting, but I won't tell you where it is not a very helpful way to go forward. You'd like to hear from David Grush where those sites are, where the data is, who the people are who've talked to him. And if this is stuff that he says is classified, Congress certainly has mechanisms for hearing things in closed committee for classified data. So there's ways they can move forward. My feeling is show me the data. Show me what's there. And then we'll see what's there. I also have a lot of doubts about this based on my experience with the government. Whenever you have a secret that if it became public would increase the funding for a government agency, that secret gets out.
Would you say David Grush is the most credible person who's ever made claims like this?
I don't know.
And in case anyone has this question, can you clarify, your report did not look into any of those claims. Do you think another independent panel should?
It's not NASA's job to investigate the Defense Department. I think something like this was congressional testimony. Congress has the mechanisms to go into this, and it's really their responsibility.
So it has been reported that several panel members experienced harassment for their involvement in the study. Did you personally receive any backlash? And why do you think this is inspiring so much controversy?
There are two sets of people. Some people who think that this is a topic that shouldn't be discussed at all. And then there are some people who are absolutely convinced that there is indisputable evidence, the government is hiding something, there's a terrible conspiracy. The fact that we didn't reveal any secret NASA sites, and NASA is not really keeping deep secrets, suggests that we're part of this vast conspiracy. And there's a lot of ad hominem attacks, particularly in social media. I mean, I think this is part of a deeper problem in our society, that people feel social media is a place where they can harass and impugn and threaten others. And sadly, like in other areas, a number of the female members of our panel were the primary targets of this harassment.
Did you experience any? And regardless, what's your feeling about it?
Did people say incredibly nasty and stupid things about me on Twitter or X? Yeah. Do I care? I try not to worry about it.
So even if there is life on another planet, is it even possible for us to find them? Our guest has an interesting and scientific take, why he thinks there are only two likely options, that it would either be bacteria only or more advanced intelligent life than we could ever imagine. That and more just ahead. But first, a quick break for our sponsors. I gave AG1 a try because as a busy parent and business owner, I'm always on the lookout for things that are both good for me and are convenient. So I was really intrigued by AG1, and I actually reached out to them wanting to partner, and I've been really happy with my experience all around. I drink AG1 before I eat or drink anything else, and it makes me feel ready to take on the day. AG1 replaces a lot of other supplements, including a daily multivitamin, minerals, pre- and probiotics for gut health, adaptogens, and a greens blend, all in one scoop of powder mixed with water. And yes, I like some ice and a splash of lemon juice, and then I'm all set. I even love the little bottle AG1 sends with the powder because it's easy to take on the go if things are especially hectic or busy one morning. My toddler even knows I have it every morning and now refers to it as either mama's drink or green drink, which is pretty adorable. So if you're looking for a simpler, effective investment for your health, try AG1 and get 5 free AG1 travel packs and a free 1-year supply of vitamin D with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/newsworthy. That's drinkag1.com/newsworthy. Check it out. This episode is also brought to you by Miracle Made. Apparently, traditional bed sheets can harbor more bacteria than a toilet seat, and that can't be good and could lead to issues with acne, allergies, and more. Well, Miracle Made offers a whole line of self-cleaning, eco-friendly bedding, such as sheets, pillowcases, and comforters that prevent 99% of bacteria and require 3 times less laundry. Yes, these sheets are infused with silver that prevents up to 99.7% of bacterial growth. Plus, they are super soft. We have them on our bed right now, and my husband and I are very happy about it. They are so comfortable. So go to trymiracle.com/newsworthy to try Miracle Made sheets today. And whether you are buying them for yourself or a gift for a loved one, if you order now, you can save over 40%. And if you use our promo Newsworthy at checkout, you'll get 3 free towels and save an extra 20%. Miracle is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you aren't 100% satisfied, you'll get a full refund. Upgrade your sleep with Miracle Made. Go to trymiracle.com/newsworthy and use the code newsworthy to claim your free 3-piece towel set and save over 40% off. Again, that's trymiracle.com/newsworthy to treat yourself. Thank you, Miracle Made, for sponsoring this episode. All right, now back to our conversation. Curious if you think we will find extraterrestrial life in our lifetime or in the next generation.
My guess is we will find signs of primitive extraterrestrial life, either on other planets in our solar system or beyond our solar system. You know, life on Earth through most of our history was basically things like bacteria, and we might find the equivalent of very simple life forms around other stars or planets around other stars or nearby. When I think about extraterrestrial life, one of my starting points is that the nearest stars are typically 1 billion years younger or 1 billion years older than the sun. So if there is life around another star, it is probably either 1 billion years less advanced than us, hence it's bacteria or something very simple, or it's 1 billion years more advanced. And 1 billion years more advanced is an enormous step, right? I mean, think about how much the world has changed in 1,000 years. Go back 1,000 years, try to describe any of the technologies we have to someone from the year 1023. It would seem unimaginable. 1 billion years is 1 million steps of 1,000 years. So any advanced civilization is so advanced that it is likely beyond our imagination. This also, I must admit, sets my attitude on our ability to detect them. They will only be detected, I feel, if they want to be detected. We won't detect them accidentally if they're more advanced than us. That's not part of the study. That's just my own assessment that alien life forms, if they're out there, are not going to be humanoids at our stage of development. It'll either be far more advanced or very simple.
And I imagine if we do find something, it'll just bring more questions, probably more questions than answers.
It would be an incredible discovery, you know, which is why NASA is planning to send a probe to Mars that will bring back samples. We can study some Martian rocks. We seem to see evidence of simple life, perhaps on Mars. It's really unclear at this point. That's something I hope in the next decade or maybe or so that we will be able to bring back samples and learn what's going on Mars, study what's happening in Europa, develop big telescopes like the Habitable Worlds Telescope that will be the next step beyond James Webb and let us image atmospheres, planets around other stars, and perhaps find chemical signs of life around other stars. So I think we're making the steps we need to start to study life within our solar system and beyond.
What do you say to people who say this is not what we should be spending any money on? We have enough problems within Earth.
Our studies of the atmospheres of Mars and Venus is in some ways a place that has suffered catastrophic global warming. It is completely uninhabitable by our life forms, are ways we learn about Earth. So I think things we learn looking out are helpful. I think for those people who are looking at and worried about conspiracies, this is why we're encouraging NASA to launch this process of open collection of data and open websites. Someone makes a claim that they found alien life forms and they're showing it in front of the Mexican parliament. Okay, send samples of these mummies to a dozen labs around the world, and we'll see whether this is human DNA or something we've never seen before. We can test all this.
Any final thought or final takeaway as we wrap up here, going back to the report or the bigger picture?
I think this is an opportunity, in a sense, to see how science operates. When you see something you don't understand, don't jump to the most exciting conclusion, but don't ignore it. Instead, go out, think about ways in which you can learn more, collect data, share that data with others, and this is how our understanding advances. This may turn out to be, as we look at these UAPs, nothing more than balloons, airplanes, drones. It could turn out to be some new atmospheric phenomenon. I encourage your listeners to look up the word lightning sprite on the web and see the incredible images of sprites, which were a phenomenon in our ionosphere that was not believed and was ignored for a long time. Same thing is true of ball lightning. People thought it was a myth, and now we've understood it's a very interesting phenomenon. So there could be some new physical phenomenon. And of course, the most exciting thing would be, as some people speculate, that this is signs of alien life and advanced civilization. But we do this, we don't jump to that conclusion. We collect data, we try to eliminate the conventional before really proving the existence of something truly exciting.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. David Spurgle, for joining us here on The Newsworthy. For more information about his organization, visit simonsfoundation.org. And the final report from NASA's UAP independent study team was made public, so we have a link in our episode notes if you'd like to take a look at the full thing for yourself. That'll do it for this week's special edition. We'll be back on Monday with our next 10-minute news roundup. But first, if you're looking for another podcast to listen to this weekend, I have a recommendation. It's called The Jordan Harbinger Show. My friend's podcast, The Jordan Harbinger Show, was named Best of Apple in 2018 for a reason. Jordan dives into the minds of fascinating people, from well-known names like Neil deGrasse Tyson, Mark Cuban, and a past interview with Kobe Bryant, to the likes of mobsters, hackers, and hostage negotiators, offering unique wisdom in every episode. You'll learn something new with each conversation, and sometimes it's connected to a news topic we're talking about here, like the episode where he talked to a former U.S. ambassador to Russia who says he's still being trailed by the Russian government. Jordan has a talent for getting his guests to share personal stories and thought-provoking insights. And it's not just these in-depth interviews either. In his weekly segment, Feedback Friday, he responds to listener questions about everything from asking for a raise at work to helping a family member escape a cult. Search for The Jordan Harbinger Show. That's Harb as in boy, IN as in Nancy, GER. The Jordan Harbinger Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. All right, we'll be back on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend.